Good day, everyone. So today I'll be working on the Aso-Ebi cap. Now, if you look at the board, what we have here, we have the cap roundness. The cap roundness is the first measurement that you need to take on your client. Take the full roundness of the cap. The full roundness of your client's head like this is one of your finger deep inside. Now, when you take this measurement, make sure you have one of your finger deep inside like this and ask if they are comfortable with the measurement. Now, the comfortable part of it is ask them if they are okay with this measurement, if it's too tight or if it's too loose. Take the measurement and adjust the cap. Or better still, ask where they fit their cap if they prefer it going downward or upward before taking the measurement. That's the first one. So the next one I have here is the cap length. Now your cap length, it depends on how high you want the cap. We have the one of 3 inches, we have the one of 2.5 inches, we have the one of 3.5. So the best thing you do, ask them how high they want it. Now this determines the length of collar stay or paper stay that you'll be using for the cap. Take the measurement like this and place it around where they fit their cap on their head and ask them if they are okay with this measurement or if you should add more to it. So I'll be taking you to the fabric and show you what you need to do and how to cut and place all the collars stay on the fabric. Okay. Look at the fabrics that I have on the machine. Yeah, I have this particular one marked with pencil. Now the reason why I marked this with pencil, this is a calico. So I'm using this one in place of the Aso-Ebi material, which is the Aso-Eke they use for cap. Now see all these lines as the Aso-Eke lines. Now the other one is my suit lining to turn my cap with it. So the first thing you do is, this is the cap length. From the top, take 9 inches, tilt the measurement this way and mark. Tilt the measurement this way. So the 9 inches I have here that you're tilting. Now tilt your tape this way. 9 inches you mark. Now connect from the tip. Connect from the tip using your chalk. Please don't use marker on your fabric. So using your chalk to connect it like this. Now take the measurement of 12 inches from one end to another. 12 inches this way. You mark. Then take additional 12 inches from the down point. That is from where this marker point is. But please take note, don't use marker for yours. Use chalk. With marker, it will be difficult to erase, but with chalk, you can easily use your iron to remove it. Now also connect the slanted line. The easiest way to achieve this is cut from this end to the tip. If you don't have enough fabric, what you need to do, put inches. Please, if you don't have enough material, you can keep this aside so this can still be useful. So cut from this other 12 inches, meeting the upper 12 inches. Now with this, you can start placing this on the main fabric and you cut. So what we need 3 of these to get our cap. Remember I said if you don't have enough fabric, you don't need to throw that away. Now this will be useful for the top of your cap. Now placing this like this. So what you do, we'll join this together and use this to cover the top of that. So let's just put this one aside, we'll come back to this. Okay, these are the 3 fabrics that I cut. So I have the 12 inches, 12 by 12 inches here, 12 by 12 inches, and this 12 by 12 inches by this. So now you are facing them this way. The first thing you do, please make sure you sew from the wrong side. Look at what I have here. It has to be like this. Can you see it? So they all have to be like this. So the first joining is coming from this point here to this point. my sewing allowance here is 1/4 inch. That's the sewing allowance. Now you move to the next one, you join it from this other angle. Same sewing allowance of 1/4 inch is needed. Now turn to the right side of the fabric. You can see that we are playing with patterns compared to the false vertical lines that we have. Now we all have all the lines slanted. Now take note, because the Aso-Ebi fabric, the edges are neat, so you don't need to weave the edges. So what you need to do is to open all the edges where you have your sewing and iron them smoothly to the end. Do the same thing to this other side. So after you're done with the ironing, the fabric should look like this. So the next thing you should do now is place both edge of the fabric. Now when you place the edge, what you should be saying is something like this. So place it the way it will look like the cap shape. So the next thing is turn it to the wrong side. Now you are sewing from the wrong side to wrong side, right side to right side, rather meeting each other like this. Your sewing allowance still remains 1/4 inch. So I'm done with this. I'll take it back to the ironing board to continue with the same way I ironed the first two, by opening it like this and do the ironing. Now I'm done with the ironing. So this is how the fabric is looking. So this is not the end of your cap. So what you need to do is place it this way and slash from the midpoint like this. Now after slashing like this, open it, and this determines how high you want the cap. Remember we talked about that while first about that you can do the 2.5 inches, the 3 inches, 3.5 or 3.75 or 3.25 or 4 inches. So your collar stay is exactly what you are cutting to make that length of the cap. So because my cap is 3 inches length, so what I'm cutting on my collar stay or paper stay will be 3 inches length too. So what you need to do, just connect it this way, because this is what I'm attaching to my cap. You sit down here. So the 3 inches length is this. You are cutting it this way. So this paper stay, you can use a paper stay, you can also use your collar stay, but collar stay is way better than the paper stay because of the thickness you'll be getting from collar stay. So I'm done with my ironing. I have the 3 inches length placed on the fabric, the wrong side of the fabric. Now if you notice what I have here, I have ½ inches allowance. So this is my sewing allowance. So by the time you're done with this, the next thing is bring out your lining. Now the lining, you are placing it on the fabric, so you are cutting the same way, the same width of what you have for the cap itself is what you are cutting for the lining. The same width and the same length, like this. So I've cut both lining and fabric. So I'm placing both parts. This is the right side of my fabric, this is the right side of my lining. So both sides is facing each other, right side and right side facing each other. And I have my sewing allowance of ½ inch here. So we are joining it from our sewing allowance. Okay, continue. Pinning it like this to open it to the right side and top stitch. Take note, look at what I'm doing. Now the top stitching should be on, take the sewing allowance this way towards the lining part and top stitch on that point. The top stitching should be ¼ inch, 0.25. This will enable the lining not to show if you're turning it inside. Remember we talked about the cap cover, and I told you if you know your fabric will not be enough, don't throw that first 9 inches that we remove. So we are still making use of this. So this is how you do it. This is the cap, this is what I have left. So place it this way and join it together. Sewing allowance ¼ inch. Now moving this to my ironing board. So iron it like this together with what I have here. So but before you do that, turn your cap this way. Now the head measurement, you can easily get it from this side. Let's say you are sewing for a 22 or 22.75 head. So let me use my own head measurement to achieve this particular one. So what I have here is, turn it this way, make sure you have one of your finger deep inside, turn it like this. What I have here is 23 inches. So my head is 23 inches, so I'll be dividing that into 2. So 23 divided by 2 is 11.5. So when you get your 11.5, you mark it from this point here. 11.5 inches, and you mark it like this. Start your sewing from the mark line. Please take note, make sure both lines is meeting from the inner part before you start your sewing. Don't forget we have the top stitching and we have where the collar or the paper stay starts from. So place them, make sure they are meeting each other like this before you start your sewing, so you don't sew your cap and the lines from the other point is not meeting. So you are starting from the midpoint. So continue from this midpoint all the way down. This is very important. Always make sure you trim all the excess threads that you have. Now turn it to the right side. The upper part that goes around the cap. So after joining an iron, you fold it into 4. This is into 2, like this is into 4. Into 4 will do for you. Now what you need to get is from this point to this point should be giving you like 3 inches to 4 inches. 4 inches is the standard, but 3.5 inches will work for you. Now around this curve, this edge, not the cotton fold edge, please take note, around this side where you have the fabrics not joined together, curve, there's no particular measurement for this. Just try and make sure you have a curve like this. Once you have that curve, throw this away. This is what we are using to cover the cap. This edge, the edges must be smooth. So this will do for us. This is also going to go together with the lining. I have the lining and my fabric. So you are using the first cap curve to cut the lining. So look at how I placed it. Now this is the right side of my fabric and this is the right side of my lining. So just try and hold both of them with your machine. So we are sewing both edges together like this. The sewing allowance is same 1/4 inch, 0.25. Now for your cap, you will notice there are some caps that comes with joining around this side. If you want to do that, what you do, where you have your collar stay, fold the cap inside from that point. It is not compulsory, it's optional if you want that. So let me just show you how to achieve that. You fold it from the collar stay inside. Once you fold it inside, it's advisable you iron it from this point. Now this is how you iron it. So your sewing allowance should be 1 cm or 1/4 inch. So I'm using 1 cm to do this sewing allowance. So if 1/4 inch is what you want, you can also do that. So make sure you are holding where the collar stay is together with the main fabric itself. So after that, the next thing is to hold the fabric together, the lining together with the fabric, which is the tip, so you don't have issues while joining it together with the cover, the top cover. Please, I need pins. Give me. Just give me the box. Now look at what I have here. This is my cap and this is my cap cover. So what do? Allow the cap cover to be facing you, like the right side of the cap cover should be facing you like this. Then turn the cap itself to the wrong side. Now this is the cap itself. Now this is the wrong side that I'm saying. The right side is the inside. So place it on the cover like this. So while you place it, use your pins to hold it. So this is how you hold it with your pins. Now start from this side, turning it this way. Hold it from where you have that sewing allowance this way, like this. Now after holding this, turn to the other side, which is this direction, so you know you have like a straight line like this. So also hold it like this. Now I'm doing like a 4 square holding. Now turn to the side like this. We'll be having enough excess to trim. Turn to this side like this and hold it from this side too. Now return it back to this other side. And hold it from this side too. Now from this side we can move to our machine and start doing the joining like this. Now allow the joining to be on that same 4 sewing that we have on the cap. Please don't bother about these slight folds that you're seeing. Just continue your sewing. Once you get close to your pin, if you're not careful, you can leave the pin, but if you know it will go through like this now, you can allow it to go through without removing the pins. Now with this, you can trim off the excess from the cap, cover it off, trim off all the excess that we have. So after trimming off all the excess, you can take the cap to your weaving machine, which is your locking machine. Then you weave the edges of the cap and turn it to the right side. So that is all you need to do to achieve this, your cap. So this is it. So that's all for today's class.